Organizing your space is so important because your surroundings affect how you feel within. Therefore, organizing your desk, which is the place where you work, is beyond important because it is going to affect not only how you feel, but also your work. So if you want to know how to organize your desk, well, stay tuned. This is Alexandra Villarroel Abrego, and welcome to another episode of Alexandra at Work. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how I organize my executive desk, which is a place where I make all of my executive decisions, and also the place where we film the A.V.A coaching for business episode. So you're going to be able to see and know what I keep in these drawers, what are the things that we have on the desk, where I spend really most of my time working. Now, I call this place my executive desk because this is where I mostly work. But at the office, we have other desks, with the computers and everything, where customer service is going to work, where other people are going to work. But here is where I spend most of my time. So I'm going to really walk you through everything that I think are the must-haves, the essentials for an executive desk, so that you can get inspired to organizing your desk and to also getting all these things that can really help you be more productive and to be more, successful in your business. So before we get into the drawers, let me walk you through the desktop and all the things that I always keep at the desktop. As you can see, it's pretty clean, and there's not a lot of things happening here because this is really the surface where most of the work is going to be. Now, when I first start my day, usually what I like to have here is my agenda so that I know what's going to happen throughout the day. And then my laptop is always going to be in the drawer. So at the end of the day, I always make sure to put things back in the drawer, except, like I said, the agenda that's always going to be here. But besides that, this is really the workspace, right? So I like to keep this clean. Now, I think every desk should always have, of course, a good lamp, a very nice lamp where you're going to be able to have the lighting, of course, but you're also gonna, I like to choose something nice so that it can be used both as lighting, but also as decor. It's always nice. Now, let me show you this thing that I have here. This is my time effectiveness tool, if I could say it like that. I like to challenge myself every day. So if, let's say, I have to write certain emails, or if I have to send certain information to someone in the team, and then I know that I have to do it fast and I want to be efficient and I want to be productive, what I like to do is I like to start this. So I'm just going to turn it like this, and then I'm going to tell myself, okay, like before this ends, I have to be done with this task, So I always, and that helps me hurry because then I put it back here and then I'm looking at it and I'm working. I'm like, oh my God, it's almost done. So I really have to hurry up. So it's a way for me, like a fun, I guess, game that I do with my own self so that I can be more productive and more efficient. Afterwards, we have this beautiful little, I guess we can call it a date calendar. So every day in the morning, what I do is that I just change the date, So it's more of a decor, piece, really for decor purposes. But I like to have this, I like to have this here to keep track of which day we are at, and yeah, it's always a nice thing. Let's move on here to my owl. I just think owls are beautiful. I like what they represent. I like that they represent mystery. I like that they represent knowledge and wisdom also. So I always like to keep this here. And then here there's a little text that says the owl personifies wisdom, knowledge, and human experience. And then it says more things, but we can actually read it well. But that's what it represents. So I like to always keep this on my executive desk right here. Then on my right corner, we have more decor pieces, but that are also useful. So I like to keep this. It's like a little hand, as you can see, and then it just like, you can open it and then you hold things. I think it's fun. And I like to just put, my business cards here or other important papers. And then here we have another thing to hold papers. And I like to keep my citrine crystal. This is for me, I find it's a very powerful crystal. It's good for abundance and success. I've had this one since 2011, and I like to think that this has brought me a lot of great success and abundance. So I like to always keep it on my desk. And I actually, whenever I'm about to launch something, I'm about to start, opening sale on something, when I'm sending the email or when I'm doing something, I actually hold it in my hands. So I really believe in the power of crystals. Here, I like to always put, bills and things like that when they come in. So right now there's nothing. And I always recommend that you also do the same and keep always your desktop clean and try to keep as many things in your drawers, but of course, keep your drawers organized. Let's begin with the first drawer here. There are 3 in total, 2 small ones on each corner and in the middle, a bigger one. So we're gonna begin with this one right here. So in this drawer, I like to keep things that are important, but not things that I need really a lot, okay? So I am right-handed, right? So I like to keep all of the pens and all of the, office essentials in this drawer right here. But in this one, I like to keep also other things that of course I need, but that I'm not always reaching for, right? So I like to do it in that way so that it's more effective. So the first thing that I have in this drawer are my business cards. So as you can see in this little 3-part compartment, if I can say like that, organizer, well, we have the business card. So I keep a stack here. I obviously have a lot more in the office, but here I like to keep a little stack. And next to it, as you can see, we have the little wallet for the business card. So it's a leather wallet, a small one, where if, let's say, I'm going to a networking event, if I'm going somewhere for business, I know exactly where I can go and get some business cards, put them in my little wallet and put this in my purse. So I like to keep it like this in my desk so that it's more effective. Now here in the 2 other compartments of this organizer, we have 2 different hard drives. So these are the most important ones that I use most of the time in the business. This is where all of the important things are, all of the programs and the recorded classes and all of that. So I like to always keep them at hand here in the executive desk. Then the next thing that you see in my drawer is just the little remote that I use for the blinds. So it's blinds that are, that I can control with the remote, and I can simply use this little remote to open and close them. Afterwards, in the drawer, what you will find is this very important little booklet. It's the personal address, internet address and password logbook. So this is very important. This is where I keep all of the passwords and the logins for every single website, not only for personal, but also and mostly for business. So this is very, very important. And it's always good to keep it here because, it's very handy. If I forget a password or a login, I have it all here and it's all in alphabetic order. As you can see right here, it is all in the alphabetic order. And I love that. I've had this for several years now. Then another thing that you find here in my drawer is the money receivables. This is what where I organize all of my bills for the week. So every week, when I am done with my day, and I'm running around, running errands, I'm gonna always keep the bills in my purse. And then once I get here, I'm gonna organize them here by category. Now at the end of the week, I take them out of here and I put it in a bigger organizer where I get to organize all of my bills. But this is very, very practical, for the day to day, so that I don't accumulate bills, and whether it be in my purse or in other places, they always go here and they're already organized by category. So I love to have this here. And again, this is another tool that I've had for many years now. And then finally, the last thing you will find in this drawer, you can even see it from this angle, but in the back, you have all of the cables. Well, not all of them, but a few cables, that I need to use, whether it be for the iPhone or for the hard drives, So I like to keep them here in the back so that we don't see them. They don't disturb nothing, and it looks aesthetically pleasing when you open the drawer and you don't see a whole lot of cables coming out of everywhere. It's never nice when that happens. Now let's move on to the drawer on my right side. Now this is the drawer that gets the most use because this is where I keep all of the office supplies, or should I say the office supplies that I use on a day-to-day basis. Now the extra office supplies are at the office, of course, but here is really the things that I use mostly every day, and as you are going to see, there is not a lot of them. So let's dig into this drawer. So first of all, of course, in every drawer for office, there should always be a stapler. This is a stapler that I've had for several years now. I think I had it probably since high school, and it still works very good. So I shall keep it and I shall keep using it. Then another thing that I actually have since high school is my calculator. So this is the calculator that I've been using since high school. I used to actually hide the answers to the exams behind this this paper. So again, it still works perfectly. So I still use it and keep it and have it in my drawer. Now under these, as you can see, we have a ruler. So it's always good to have a nice stainless steel ruler for whichever thing you need. And now we're gonna go into this little organizer. I like to always keep good organizers in my drawer so that things don't get too confusing, so that there's not things going here and there and then you can find it when you open the drawer. I like to keep everything in its own designated spot. I think that that's very important. So the first thing that you notice in this little organizer is the Post-its. Of course, who doesn't use Post-its on a day-to-day? You always need that. I have big ones, I have smaller ones, and I just like the classic color. I know a lot of people go for the colorful ones and all kinds of sizes and designs. I just like to keep it, you know, classy. I like to keep it the way it's supposed to be, the way Post-its were intended to be. Here, as you can see, we have more of the index cards. Now, let me tell you what it is that I do with the index cards and why I keep so many on my executive desk. Every night I read for about an hour, and I read all types of books, whether it be on spirituality or business or anything, whatever I feel like reading at the moment. And what I do as I read is that I put little Post-its on the pages or the paragraphs where there's important information that I can somehow eventually, you know, share with you guys right here on Alexandra TV or in my program. So I put the little Post-it so that I don't have, you know, to write it down or to use a highlighter or whatever. I don't like to do that in the books. I just like to keep the little Post-it. And then the morning after, part of my morning routine is going to be to come here on my executive desk right before I start my day. And then I write in the index cards the information that was in the book. And then I'm going to classify these index cards in this big piece of furniture that I have that is for each index card. And the little drawers, which is called, I don't know if you guys remember, but back then in libraries, before technology was invented, I don't know if you are old enough to remember that, but there used to be the card catalog cabinets, I believe it was called. And it was these little drawers, and in there was the index cards that would go in the back of the books. I don't know if you guys remember, if you're old enough, like I said. And so I have a furniture like that, and then in each drawer has its own topic, basically. So there's a drawer, let's say, for chakras. There's another drawer for entrepreneurships. There's another drawer for goddess, you know, related topics. So each drawer has its topic, and then in each drawer, well, I keep the little index cards. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do a video about how I use this method. It's actually called the Zettelkasten method. So let me know if you're interested in learning more about that, about organizing your findings and ideas and things like that. So that's why I always keep these index cards in here. Now here I have only two types of pens. This is a pencil, actually. This I use for my daily calendar, my daily planner. So I have this, and I have a few, as you can see, in the drawer. And then I have this that I use for my weekly planner and for other things. I am the type of girl who is, when I find what I like, I stick to it. I don't change it. I don't like to try new things. If I find what I'm looking for, it's what I'm looking for, and I've been using these for years, and I always buy the same brand, the same kind, and I will never change it. And then of course I have other ones. These are the colorful ones. So this is if I want to use a little bit of color in whatever I'm writing or doing, well, I always keep these here that I like a lot. And then as you can see here, I have different little things that you use, you know, for papers. Then this is for clipping the papers together. I have all kinds here. I have bigger ones, of course, that I like to use. That you can use like this. And they're pretty, and they're all gold. Again, I like a color, I stick to it, and then the theme becomes that color. As you can see, there's gold on top of the desk. I'm not a complicated person. When I like something, it just stays like that. And then finally, another little thing that I keep in this drawer are simply the pencil leads, you know, for the mechanical pens that I use. I like to keep some here, and of course I have a lot of extras in the drawers in the office. You know, for all of these pens and the Post-its and all of that, I have a lot of extras. I'm kind of a hoarder when it comes to things like that. I always like to keep a lot of extra of all the things that I like. So I have all of them, all of the extra supplies at the office. All right, and then finally we have the drawer in the middle, which is the biggest drawer, and this is where I keep a lot of the most important things. All right, so let's open the drawer. Let's begin by this side. First of all, there are my two agendas. So here we have the daily agenda and this is the weekly agenda. So this is where I have all of my daily appointments, you know, from day to day, by hour. It's with every 15 minutes, basically. I can write down the appointments, and this is where I have all of the appointments and meetings, but by week, you know. So this is more of the overall view, and this is what I bring with me everywhere, you know, in my purse. And I know I'm very old school because I know that now there's technology and blah, 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 but I like to keep it in paper. So these are the first things that I keep here. And as I said, in the morning, this is always going to be open at the page of the day so that I know exactly what to do every 15 minutes during the day. Then behind that, you can't really see it from this view, you know, with the drawer, but we have this little thing where I keep all of the business cards, so the important business cards. I have a lot of other business cards. This is not my business card, but business cards from people that I know, right? And again, I know that there's a phone and I can just keep the number and all of that, but I like to keep their official business cards here. So I keep it all here organized and I love it. So I have it here, and sometimes, you know, if I'm looking for someone and perhaps I don't have them on my phone, then I just pull this out and I have their business cards. As you can see here, we have the laptop, so that I use most of the days, my MacBook Pro. So this is very important. And under this, I don't know if you can see, we're gonna blur it out a little bit, but here we have the code for the Wi-Fi, because very often I get asked that question. I have it in the guest bedroom, but also I like to keep it here, the code for the Wi-Fi. Then on this side is more of the, I guess, inspirational side. Here I have this cute little book. It's in French. It says Petit recueil des pensées utopiques. So this is basically just a little book where there's all kinds of like thoughts and like philosophical, you know, ideas and things like that. So whenever I'm lacking inspiration or I need something to be creative, I can just pull this out, you know, and look at it. Here I have the insights from the daily Llama calendar, daily calendar. So every day for the year, I get a little insight, so I always love to use this. And next to it, I also have a calendar which is wines, about wines, and everyday learning something. However, this one is from, I think, 2016 or 2017. So all the pages are removed, but I like to restudy it. And I haven't found, again, this calendar, this daily, like, information calendar, so I wasn't able to find it again for this year, so I kept it. And now every day I get to again read a fact about wines, because I'm fascinated by wines. I love to learn a lot about it. So every day I just, you know, January 1st, January 2nd, and blah, 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 and I get to read that. So I love that. So these are my two calendars, and every morning before I start my day, I can read the thought from the Daily Llama, and then I can learn a little bit more about wines. And then finally here we have two notebooks that I use. This is mainly for ideas, for inspiration. If there's quotes that I like and things like that, I can just write it here. And this is the notepad that I've been using for years. I actually have a full box, like a full box of just these that I've used in the past. I didn't want to throw them because this is where I usually do my to-do list. This is where I write other things. So every week, let's say on Sunday night, I'm gonna write down the to-do list and the things that I have to do. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to do a video about how I plan my weeks and how I do the to-do list. But these are, I buy them in bulk because I use them all of the time. Every 2 weeks, this is done. So this is another thing that it's mostly gonna be all the time here on the desk. This, the laptop, and the agenda, you know, the daily planner, are going to be most of the time on the desk, but at the end of the day, of course, I close it and then put it back where it belongs, in the drawer. So that is it for my executive desk organization and desk must-haves, really, working desk must-haves. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to share it with all of your friends. And of course, to subscribe for new videos almost every day of the week. Now, what we've decided to do is also to create this cheat sheet, really, where we have all of the desk essentials that you can download and print out. If you want to receive it and it's completely free, all you have to do is go in the description below this video, click on the link, and you will be able to receive it for free. You know, all you have to do is just give your name and email address and you'll be able to download it for free and then print it, and like that you can go and do your shopping for all the things that you need for your executive desk, you know, and not miss out on any essentials or any must-haves. So that is it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you very soon.